Bine v-am regăsit la Maratonul Interviurilor Ecomteam. Sunt Carmen Olteanu și alături de mine se află Mark Papp-Zea de la S-Sport. So, Mark, thank you so much for being here with us. Could you give us a short introduction to your business?
Sure. So I'm Mark Papp-Zea. I'm leading the company named S-Sport International. We are a Hungarian-based company, but we operate 6 web shops across the CEE region. We're primarily selling sports equipment for schools and institutions, but we're also selling outdoor toys such as trampolines and home fitness items, and also above-ground pools with all their accessories. And our approach to our market is that we are very strict on trying to create fundamental value, which for us basically means providing excellent value for money products and also reliable fast services such as fast deliveries. And I cannot emphasize this enough because everyone who knows me knows that I'm very strict about these core values that our company never can stray too far away from. And this is one of the reasons why I think we are so successful in Hungary and our cross-border markets as well. Like here in Romania, people in Romania are very much appreciating this just as much as those in Hungary, and this has led S-Sport.ro here in Romania become a vital part of our operations, and it's basically accounting for almost 20% of our revenue here, even though we just entered the market 2 years ago.
So in which other countries we could find your products?
Well, our domestic country is Hungary,
okay,
but
yeah.
we are also present in Romania, which is our second largest market, and we are also present in Slovenia and Slovakia.
Okay, thank you. How would you describe your customer?
So we have a very wide range of customers, ranging from individual buyers to schools and institutions, and all the way to reselling partners. The individual clients, they usually buy home fitness items from us, and the outdoor toys, mainly trampolines and the spare parts for trampolines, and also these above ground pools that I told you about with all their accessories. And these accessories and spare parts are not to be underestimated. They make up a significant part of our portfolio. So that's what they buy from us, the B2C part. And regarding the B2B part, I kind of like to bundle them together because these institutions, schools, and also the reselling partners, they all focus on schools and institutions in the end, and the professional, well, not professional, but like sports teams, let's put it that way. And we are quite successful in this regard as well. They usually buy schools, sports equipment for schools, such as footballs, volleyballs, handballs, but also these large items like wooden benches, those long 4-meter wooden benches that you see in the school gyms, and that's something that is surprisingly successul for us here in Romania. It's also successful in Hungary, but we were never unsure about that. We are absolutely surprised by how successful it is in Romania, and overall, I think this is due to the fact that we focus on these fundamental values that I just talked to you about, and overall, we are quite happy to see how balanced the portfolio of B2C and B2B customers we have, and this is one of the reasons why we are, I believe, so resilient as a company.
Yeah. Could you compare 2025 to 2024? From the revenue point of view, your evolution as a company, as a market?
Sure. So 2025 has been a very solid year for us. We have been growing at a 20% rate this year, which is slightly above that of 2024, which was around 15%. But the majority of this growth comes from our international expansion, obviously. Like here, Romania is one of the main factors why we are growing so fast. So it's been very solid for us, despite of the many hardships that the industry is currently experiencing. I probably do not have to tell you about those, but I will anyway.
Yes, please do.
So the economic hardships, in Hungary especially, there was huge inflation, and the economic hardships, I suppose, is very similar in Romania, maybe not as bad, but definitely worse than it was before COVID.
It is similar.
Yeah, so that's one hardship. And the other hardship is the changing customer behaviors, probably due to these economic hardships, like they are less brand loyal than ever. They are ever more price conscious and deal seeking and savvy and all the rest, which makes it very hard for companies to keep their customers, but also the increased competition, which which comes from these large international companies and Temu and these marketplaces, Temu, Allegro, and bringing with them all the thousands upon thousands of competition of sellers that you need to compete with that you hadn't had to before. So these are the hardships, but we have managed to overcome them and be very resilient. Like 20% growth year over year is, I think, very resilient. But you know, we are still below our limits of growth. So I do believe we could achieve a lot larger growth, but we were always kind of limited by the amount of capital that we have, because our business model, maybe I'll elaborate on it later, but it's very capital intensive. But I do not want to spoil it yet, but we just might solve that capital issue that we're facing in the coming months, which is gonna allow us for some even more exponential growth.
Maybe throw us a hint, a little clue?
Sure. We are working on getting an investor to join the company, selling a small part of our ownership to make that happen. But it's hopefully going to allow us to reach this exponential growth that I was talking about, especially on the cross-border markets.
Okay, thank you. That sounds lovely. And I have just a couple more questions. Based on your experience, what would you say the trends that are leaving a mark in the e-commerce industry right now?
Yeah, so there are always these brand new trends. They're shinier than ever, and we always like to talk about them. But the way I like to think of them is that they are trends, so they're not the fundamental values that you definitely need to focus on. So I always try to keep the company on the strategic core values that we are working on, and then take a look at these trends as some nice additions and as some things that add value to our customers or efficiencies, and use them when they make sense, but not, you know, put all of our emphasis into these new trends. But to mention a few, I already mentioned the economic hardships and the changing of customer behaviors and the ever-increasing competition from these large multinational companies, and that comes without saying that it is a trend. But you know, this is not a trend that has come in the last 2 months. So people should not be surprised by this. This has been going on for quite a while, and somebody who was surprised by the entrance of new players maybe underestimated the market. But this is not a new trend. That's what I'm trying to say. And also the changing of customer behavior has also been going on for a while now. Like people trying to seek the best deals has been going on forever. Maybe now they're more inclined to put more effort into it. But you know, this is also not something new. AI, on the other hand, is definitely new. That's not something that anyone expected back in 2020, for example. So that is definitely new, that people should be surprised by. But you know, AI is also, it should be looked at as a tool to improve your business in terms of efficiency or customer experience, and it is changing the business in that regard, but it does not change the fundamentals that I think most of the emphasis should be put on.
That was kind of my next question. I was going to ask you if you're including AI technology in your businesses, and how?
Of course, we are incorporating a lot of ways. We are incorporating AI into our business, but all of them support our strategic goals of creating the best value for money for our customers. So basically creating efficiencies wherever possible. That means lower prices for the customers, or AI chat, for example, that is also providing value to our customers, and not because it's a trend, but because it actually makes
things faster,
a lot faster, a lot cheaper. So it just makes things more efficient for the customer as well, and for the customer experience. So that's how we try to implement AI solutions. So just to give you an example, AI chat, for example. Also, the training of our employees is partially done by AI. You know, we upload all the materials that is necessary to know how the processes work in a company, and they can just ask the AI. You know, if the AI is giving dumb answers, they can always turn to me or some of their managers. But you know, it's a good first solution for the easiest of questions. And also we are using AI for processing a large amount of data in the decision making of the management. You know, there is this function of deep research. It's extremely useful. You can just kind of throw your ideas in there and tell it what you want to research, and it saves you a ton of time. You can just leave it there, do your stuff, and then come back to it in 20 minutes, and it's going to do an actual deep research. Like it looks like a paper basically, and it gets the job done. But you know, we're not jumping on the bandwagon. We are like trying to use these new trends when they actually make sense.
Like a tool. Like a very useful tool. Yeah. So what are your plans for the foreseeable future?
So I kind of spoiled the capital inclusion into the company. So it's no surprise that we're going to focus on this exponential growth. Basically, first we're going to have to make sure that our operations are up par and we scale them up properly so that we can handle these large volumes without sacrificing the fundamentals that I talked to you about, like the fast deliveries and the stock levels and such. So that's definitely the scaling up of our warehouse and logistics management system, and all these scale-ups are definitely something we're going to focus on. We're also going to focus on reaching larger economies of scale, because it does seem like economies of scale is one of the key fundamental values that the company needs to have, and we're going to do that by, of course, larger volumes, but not increasing our portfolio with the volumes, which basically means every single unit we're going to sell at a larger quantity instead of widening our portfolio by introducing new items. We're not going to do that. We're probably going to substitute the best-selling foreign brand items with our own branded ones. That's the way we're going to increase our portfolio of private label products, not necessarily the entire portfolio of products. And also we're going to focus on entering new markets. Once our operations are up to scale, we have not made the final decisions yet on which markets, but they're CE regional markets. So this is the region that we are focusing on. I think that's a good strategy to kind of go into each of these individually small markets, but together they add up to quite a nice economies of scale. But we're only going to do that once we solve the issues of scale up and once we solve the issues of stock shortages that we're currently facing because of these private labels. It does need a lot of more capital than we currently have, and it does lead to some kind of shortages on the short term. But with this new investment, we are hopefully going to solve that first and then enter new markets.
It's always the work in progress.
Oh yeah, and one other thing that is surprising that we learned from our foreign expansion is that in our domestic market, in Hungary, we are not very focused on reselling partners. We do not put much emphasis on it because we do not see the value that they add to the supply chain. But on the export markets, like here in Romania, we were surprised by how much value they are creating. Like, they know the local customs a lot better than us. Like, they can communicate with the schools a lot better than us. Like, they can call in advance to talk to the people at the door on when they can pick up the package and when they cannot, and they can sign the contracts and do all these kind of things that is very hard to do from a company from abroad. And in these regards, these reselling partners are providing so much value that we have kind of shifted our core strategies in a sense that on our export markets we are going to put more emphasis on this.
Thank you so much for all this valuable information, and I hope you enjoy Ecom Team in the coming days.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.